Hello, everyone. Jeff here. And at this time, I'm going to be first time listening to Sleep Token's new song, Caramel. Very excited. I see where a ton of people have already listened to this song, and I'm sure there's plenty of reactions and people that are breaking it down at this point. But I have yet to listen to the song. I had a bike ride this morning and a little bit of work and taking the dog for a walk, feeding the dog, feeding myself, showering up. Got some other plans today, but I'm going to squeeze this in before I continue with my day. And then hopefully over the weekend, sometime over this weekend, I'll be able to read through the lyrics and give it a full deep dive analysis musically and lyrically. But at this time, I am just going to be listening straight through the song, no pausing, and see what they have in store for us for today. Super excited. So everyone, hope you're having a great day, and let's see what we've got here. Sleep Token, Caramel. Oh, one more thing before I get this started. I have nothing to do with this band. I have no claims to copyrights. I'm not monetizing this channel, this video in any way. The content belongs to RCA Records, and the music is created by Sleep Token. Hopefully this will help keep this video from getting blocked. I've got a lyric video pulled up here, so I can hopefully avoid that copyright block from YouTube. Let's see. All right, Sleep Token, Caramel.
Count me out like sirens, pay back for the good times. Right foot in the roses, left foot on a landmine. I'm not gonna be there, tripping on the grapevine. They can sing the words while I cry into the baseline. Wear me out like Prada, devil in my detail. I swear it's getting harder, even just to exhale. Backed up into corners, bitter in the lens. I'm sick of trying to hide it every time they take mine. So stick to me like caramel. Walk beside me till you feel nothing as well. direction. I'll take what I'm given, the deepest incisions. I thought I got better, but maybe I didn't.
Holy shit. Holy shit. Wow. Well, I think it's safe to say that the mask came off for sure there in that song. If this isn't a song for and to the fans, I don't know what is. I cannot wait to go back through these lyrics and listen and look more closely at them. There's so much to unpack in this song. But the main gist that I get is, I think it probably refers to the doxing that happened after the Take Me Back to Eden album came out, and their popularity skyrocketed. And even before Take Me Back to Eden came out, it was fairly easy to go online and do a little bit of quick research to find out who the members were, who Vessel is. And for most of us, like really dedicated fans, it was a secret that we all knew about, but no one said it. And that was kind of the unspoken Fight Club rule. And I think the band and Vessel is fine with it existing in that way. It's just impossible to keep your identity completely unknown these days. So much transparency. But with that being said, someone came out, and I'm speaking right now to probably just the hardcore fans, because I don't know of anyone else who's going to dive deep into the archives of all the reaction videos and take a listen to what I have to say. I don't have a big following. I have like 2 people that look at this channel. But if you don't know anything about Sleep Token's history, they were doxxed. Someone leaked their, I didn't look into it, but I think it included like photo IDs and birth certificates of a couple of the members, and released the names to the public and made it a big a stink as they could about it. And that's just like about as shitty as a thing that you can do to someone who's trying to remain anonymous. And there's so many beautiful things about anonymous musicians. It's not just that they don't want to be noticed in public when they're with their family and their friends, and if they blow up and get big like Sleep Token has, they have to deal with that in the public. It's not just that. Even more so, I think it's so that the music can shine on its own without people needing to be famous or being known personally for it. I mentioned that in my last reaction video to Emergence. But this song really gets to the heart of that. At least from a first listen, that's how I'm taking this song. Seems like they're really leaning into that and saying to the fans, that we hope you're having a good time. I hope you're having a good time, since this is Vessel's words, I assume. I noticed on Emergence that too, the drummer contributed to, at least on the Genius, the credits, they credited too with some of the lyrics as well. So that was interesting. But this really feels like it's coming from Vessel. I caught a line in there somewhere about just saying my name just to get a rise out of me, like someone noticing him in public, because again, it's fairly, especially these days, it's incredibly easy to find out who the members are. So if you see this guy in public, I would like to think, if I ever, which I won't because I'm in the States, I'm in Florida, and other than seeing them in concert later this year in September, I'll never cross his path. But if I did, I'd like to think that I would just have the most subtle and gentle and heartfelt smile that I could give the guy for what he has done for music and for fans and whatnot. And then I wouldn't geek out. I especially wouldn't try and say his name and make him feel uncomfortable. That sounds to me like someone who's not a fan. That's someone who is just trying to, again, like he said in the song, I think he said, get a rise out of me. But he's in the next phase of his songwriting and musical career at this point. Like the trilogy is what it is, and he's moving past that. And now he's trying to grapple with fame and, so many people knowing who he is and expectations. There were some lines in there, I think, about the stages of prison. My God, that's heartbreaking. I mean, there's many perspectives that come with that, right? Once he decided to make songs about this incredibly vulnerable aspect of his life, and granted, it was shrouded in fantasy and mystery, and still to this day is shrouded in poetry and a lot of playful masks. There's so many masks to this band, lyrically, the poetry, the masks that are worn, the costumes, the Easter eggs, the clues, the ciphers, all that stuff. But underneath all of that, if you strip all of that back, you're left with someone who's grappling with a lot, like love, lost, relationship issues, just growth. What do I do next? I'm going to get really into this, I'm sure, at some point. I can't spend too much time on it today, but I'll do a deep dive lyrically. But I think Sleep Token took a big page from the band Tool in some of their approach to that mystery and anonymity. And I'm thinking at the moment about a particular interview that Maynard of Tool did. And I think he was asked something about his makeup and costumes on stage and what was the purpose behind that. And I think it's multifaceted, and he commented as much about it. Of course, he's poking fun at some stereotypes of people, and but underneath that, another layer was he wanted to kind of be less recognizable, so that if he was out with his family, his kids, then he wouldn't get bombarded by people. And at this point in time, that's unavoidable. He's very well known. It's kind of very recognizable. Hard to miss the guy. But there was that aspect to it. And I think Sleep Token with this has kind of tried to remain anonymous and make the music first and all that. I'm kind of wondering now, meandering a bit at this point. But I cannot wait to get into these lyrics and look at them closer. But as a first listen, what a beautiful song. You had all the unexpected switches that you might expect from Sleep Token, but just heartbreaking, man. But I remember my train of thought there, what I was going to say about multiple perspectives. So once he decided to start writing songs and sign a record deal and make those vulnerable parts of himself very public, even though they're shrouded in poetry and mystery and clues and masks and all of this, underneath it all, it's very vulnerable stuff, right? Very personal stuff. Once you decide to do that, with music media more so than any other form of art, if you're a performer, a performing artist, then you're expected to go up onto a stage and bring those songs back, because people enjoy them, and you're the artist and you made the thing, so you're expected to go up on stage night after night, week after week, month after month, year after year, and do the damn thing, play the hits for the people, right? Personally, I don't expect anything from Sleep Token or any artist in the world. They don't owe me a thing. They create their music and their art, and I'm gracious for that. I'm appreciative of that, and I wouldn't think any less of them if they were to want to move on as a person and as an artist and not play those same songs anymore. I'm getting emotional here thinking about this because it upsets me that that's kind of the status quo. That's kind of how things operate in the music industry. It's like you churn out songs, and once they become popular, people kind of expect you to perform those songs on stage. And if not, then you get hassled, you get ridiculed, you get possibly the fans leave, and you don't have the same support that you had. So there's kind of this entitlement that fans seem to have about music and art. And it's kind of sickening to me. My perspective is that, and back to, God, I'm getting so bad with age, remembering my train of thought. In that interview with Maynard, he said that I'm getting bad, so bad with age. Lost my train of thought again. I've got so many things going through my head with this song and these lyrics, this particular song. Yes, so once you get to a certain point with your art, if it's done its job, then you've grown from that music, that piece of art that you created. And like in Tool's case, Opiate, Undertow, Anima, those were pretty angry, angst-filled, piss and vinegar, a lot of songs from those records. And we as fans at this point in time, now that years and years, decades have gone by, we would never expect for them to have those same feelings and to be able to go up on stage and perform those really anger-filled and intense, emotional songs from back then, right? So it's harder to understand that when it's just one album to the next, when less time has passed. In Sleep Token's case, just 2 years. But I think the growth that he's experiencing and the trajectory of his maturity is such that he doesn't want to go up on stage. It feels like a prison to him to go up to have to sing those songs that were so it's probably feels like another lifetime to him at this point in time. If he's moved on from that relationship and the trilogy is done with, then hopefully that art has served its purpose and he has dealt with those issues and moving on. So now Vessel's new task is to find out what he wants to write about next. And this is a pretty good segue to letting fans know that I hope you're on board with me. Respect the borders, the boundaries that we've set as, with this project, with our art. Don't be a dick when you see me in public. If you know who I am, maybe just give me a thank you or a smile, or, just give me some space to be a normal person outside of this band. And I wish that we didn't, as a collective, I wish that we didn't have those expectations of an artist to get up and perform songs that may not be relevant to them as an artist anymore. And I hope that Vessel gets to a point where he doesn't perform a lot of those songs again, if he feels like he's trapped and imprisoned and he has to be someone who he's no longer up on stage, because that's no way to live. And to do that because fans, because money, because that's what's expected of you, it's just, again, it's kind of sickening. I hate that it's that way. I wish that we had enough appreciation and support in our artists in our time, that whatever it is that they wanted to offer to us on stage and as a new offering of their craft, that we would be appreciative for that. And we already know that Sleep Token Vessel is an incredibly gifted, talented songwriter and lyricist and recording artist. We know the chops are there. For God's sakes, today we got like reggae, like dance. We got another beautiful chorus with just a wall of sound, beautiful chord progression. We get what sounded like a glockenspiel or xylophone or something in the beginning. And we got like death metal at the end. And again, I'm so curious to get back in to listen and take in context the lyrics with what the music is doing, because I think during that part he's asking the fans like, did I give you what you wanted? And that matched perfectly with the death metal part of the song where he's screaming. And I don't think he wants to scream anymore. He's already told us that in Aqua Regia. There's so many points in this song where I could look back to previous songs of theirs. Take Me Back to Eden, spitting up brain matter and makeup 2 days since the mainframe went down. Atlantic, being in a room with eyes orbiting you, looking at you while you're trying not to crush into sand. He's obviously had like some experiences where he's been in the hospital. I don't know if it's car crash related. There's a lot of that in previous Sleep Token songs too. But there's like some heavy stuff that he's written about. And again, it's been shrouded in poetry and some wordplay. But underneath that all, there's a guy who's really gone through some shit. And if he's dealt with that and moved past that and he's a new man, which I'm sure that he is, then those things change you. And you don't want to rehash that night after night, year after year. So anyway, it breaks my goddamn heart to see him speaking like this. But again, the other perspective is when you decided to start sharing all this really personal stuff with the world and make songs like this with a record label, then the unavoidable hard truth of that is that you're going to be expected to get up and perform those songs for people if it takes off and becomes popular. And that's where he's at. So anyhow, that's going to be it for this initial first listen. What a fucking beautiful song, though. I teared up all through that thing. And if you guys weren't with me right now, if I wasn't recording a video, I'd be bawling. So thanks, Sleep Token. Thanks for this. And please, don't let some of these so-called fans that are doxing and calling you out and trying to make your life difficult, I hope that you don't let that jade you and get to a point where you no longer want to share, because musically you're so gifted, and I'm sure that there's other things in life that you'll be able to share with the world aside from just grief and pain and wallowing in the past. All right, guys. Hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and check back this weekend. I will definitely get into these lyrics and hopefully provide some more in-depth analysis and deep dive insight into the lyrics and maybe the music too. All right, guys, have a great day.